everyone, I'm Katrina and today I'm going to be going through all of the books that I'm hoping to read in October, and there's a lot. This is an overly ambitious October TBR pile. It's probably doable. I don't have any assignments due in October, so that gives me a little more free time, but I did some pretty intense reading in August and September with the readathons that I participated in, so I might be still a little burnt out from that. So we'll see how it all goes, we'll see. Speaking of readathons, there are 4 readathons that I'm gonna be participating in October. Oh yeah. Instead of doing separate TBR videos for all of those readathons, I'm just going to talk about it in this video because that's a lot of TBR piles to talk about in 1 month. And a couple of them do overlap, or at least start within a day or 2 of each other. There's going to be some books that are the same for those. It just seems a little bit silly to do so many TBR piles when there's going to be some similar things happening. Basically, the bottom line is I'm lazy. I'll start by going through what I'm hoping to read for all of the readathons. First up, there is the Get Graphic readathon, which is happening from October 6th to October 8th, and this is a readathon for reading graphic novels, which is perfect. First up, we have Monstrous Volumes 1 and 2 by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takada. This is for the challenges to read a new to you series and to read 2 installments from the same series. Oh god. Are these gonna stay upright? Let's hope so. Okay. Nobody move. Tread lightly if you must. Full Metal Alchemist volumes 19 through 21 and 22 through 24 by Hiromi Arakawa. These are for the challenges to read something over 300 pages and to also read something with black and white art. He looks so angry though. The last book I'm hoping to read for the Get Graphic readathon is The Secret Loves of Geek Girls, which I believe is an anthology graphic novel, and this was for the challenge to read a book that was recommended by a friend. I took to Twitter, and thank you so much Sarah from @SarahPaperWords. She recommended this book and I'm going to go to Kinokuniya this week, see if they have it. If they don't, then I'll figure something else out. If I read all 5 of those, that also means that I would complete the challenge to read 5 graphic novels / mangas / comics. I will also be participating in the readathon by Zoe, the Halloween edition, happening on October 14th. The book that I'm hoping to read isn't really Halloween worthy, I don't think, but this is a book that I need to really focus on and get read soon, otherwise Pierre Ford will come to my house and murder me or just force read this book to me, and that is Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I don't really know anything about this other than that it's science fiction, but I've heard amazing things about it, so I'm hoping to focus all of my attention on that Saturday to Red Rising. If I manage to finish this book, or I need to take a bit of a break for whatever reason, I will pick up a different book, maybe something that is more appropriate for Halloween, maybe just another graphic novel. Who knows? I'm keeping it pretty open for myself, but I like 24-hour readathons. I like how you just get really in the zone with it, so it needs to happen. This needs to happen, so I'm gonna make it happen, hopefully. The last 2 readathons I will be participating in is the Spookathon, happening from the 16th to the 22nd of October, as well as the Dewey's 24-hour readathon, which is happening on the 21st. Since the Spookathon does have reading challenges, I've put together a TBR to satisfy those challenges, but I managed to complete all of them with just 2 books, which gives me quite a lot of freedom. I kind of finish all of the Spookathon challenges and then pick any of the other books that I have on my TBR pile. Maybe I'll choose something completely different, especially for the 24-hour readathon happening in there. It'll really just depend on how I feel that day, and this is of course all subject to change. Who knows if I'll read any of these books? No, I hope I do. I really do. My Favorite Thing is Monsters by Emil Ferris. This is going to satisfy 4 out of the 5 challenges for the Spookathon. Well done. So the challenges that I will be completing with this book are to read a thriller. The blurb of this describes it as a psychological thriller. Read a book with orange on the cover. Now on the screen it does look slightly less orange than it does in real life, thanks to the lighting I think, but at the very least it's an orangey yellow, so I'm counting it. Read a book with a spooky word in the title. Monsters is pretty spooky. The last challenge I will use for this one is to read a book that is based on a childhood fear of yours. Now, I'm going with the I was afraid of monsters under my bed that would come up and eat me at night fear. I was one of those kids that would squish pillows down the side of my bed so no hands could come up and touch me. I mean, they couldn't grab me and drag me down there because there's no room to do that and my bed's next to the wall. But I was terrified of that, and I would also have my covers up to my neck because the monsters can't get you if you're completely covered by a bed sheet. Logic. This is also a graphic novel, perfect for a readathon. The last book I'm hoping to read for the Spookathon is Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Seanan McGuire. This is a companion prequel to Every Heart a Doorway. This one will be for the challenge to read a book that has a spooky setting. I asked one of my friends who has read the book if it could be considered, even loosely considered, spooky, and they said yes. I had a quick flip through as well and saw some mentions of the Moors, which is kind of spooky, and I was also told that this is kind of Frankenstein and Dracula-esque, so I think there's like a mad scientist's laboratory and a vampire's castle, estate, mansion, something or other, both of which could be quite spooky. Those are all of the books that I have for my readathon TBRs, so let's get to the last 5 books that I also hope to read during October, around all of the readathons, or potentially during. Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel. This is the sequel to Sleeping Giants, and I am actually currently in the middle of this one. I'm listening to the audiobook, so I should be able to finish this one in October. When I do finish reading this, I will start another audiobook, but it's unlikely it's going to be anything that's in this TBR video because I don't have any of these books on Audible. So that means that's another book being added to my reading list. Oh gosh. Moxie by Jennifer Matu. This is the current biannual book club for the period between August and October. Even though this was only released in September, Emma Books has just been raving about the book, which is why we decided to go with it anyway. I have until the end of October to read this one before we do a live show discussion of it, so it needs to be read in October. The Muse by Jessie Burton is another book club read for me. I have a little book club with a couple of my friends, and this is the one that we were supposed to read in September, but life got in the way for all of us. None of us managed to read it, so we're hoping to do this one for October instead. And I honestly don't know anything about this one, but I've heard really good things about Jessie Burton's other book, The Miniaturist, so hoping I enjoy it, and I also really like the cover. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I'm actually planning to buddy read this with my friend Red from Little Red Reader, and I think we'll probably start this in the next couple of days, which is very exciting. I've been meaning to read this series for so long, so I can finally get into it, and then I can get into Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, which I've just heard so many great things about. The last book that I have on my TBR pile is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I've been wanting to read this one for so long, and I finally decided to pick it up so I can get to Circe by Madeline Miller, which is her next book that's coming out in 2018. I've heard really good things about this one as well. Very excited for it. However, since I've got all of these readathon books and some books with deadlines, or at least buddy reading, so that's kind of a deadline anyway, this one is not very likely to happen. We shall see how it all turns out, but I'm putting it on here anyway so that it's in my mind, so if I do have any other books that I want to read, this is the first one that's going to be read. So we have 13 books on my TBR pile, which is a lot, but if I break it down a little bit, it's a little less daunting. I have 6 graphic novels, 1 novella, 1 novel that I'm halfway through reading, so that only means that I have 5 full-length novels to start and finish. The rest are much quicker and easier to read, so that's slightly less daunting thinking about it that way. But that is everything that I have for my October TBR pile. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As usual, I would love to hear your thoughts on any of the books that I mentioned. Let me know. I'd like to get excited about these books that I'm about to read, though it's a shame if you didn't like them. That's all that I have for now. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you very soon with a new video, but until then, I will talk to you in the comments. Bye! That was my ankle cracking.